Yo, what's up everybody? It's Julius DeBerry with Majestic Studios, and I'm back again with another Korg Nautilus video. We're going to continue going down the path of talking about our drum banks and drum tracks. So if you want to know a little bit more about how to utilize your Nautilus in this way, we're going to cover some more great information in this video. Today we're going to be dealing specifically with the drum tracks feature. When you push this button, in order to initiate loops to start that you can play along with using your keyboard. If that's something that you want to learn about, then stick around, and we got some great information for you coming right up. Let's go. All right, so let's say that you got your M1 bank for your Nautilus, you got it set up, you got all your patches loaded, everything's working fine, you got your set list set up, everything is going exactly how you want it, but you want to be able to play those great M1 sounds and those great sounds from the Nautilus with some drums to back you up. Well, it's very simple what you have to do. When you push this drum button, it's basically turning on a feature in the keyboard that allows drum tracks to be played. Depending on how you have it set, it will play automatically as soon as you push the drum button or as soon as you press a key or a range of keys in the keyboard. So let's dive in and let's see how that works. We're on our mode select screen. We're going to go to program and we're going to select a patch. Now those patches that come default or factory from Korg with the Nautilus, they have drum tracks already programmed, but the M1 sounds and programs did not have drum tracks programmed by the factory, and so this gives us a great canvas to get started with as far as our sounds are concerned. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to, first of all, let's pick a cool sound. So could we make something with this universe? Let's see. Yeah. Let's stick with the universe patch. So we're going to push ARP drum right here down at the bottom of the screen. It's going to take us to the screen where we're able to set up our arpeggios and our drums. So what we're going to do specifically, we're going to worry only about the drum side. We're going to cover the ARP stuff in a later video. So what you want to do is you want to push this edit button right here at the top of the screen. So once you push the edit button, it opens up another menu screen where you're able to make adjustments to your arpeggios or your drums. So what we're going to pay close attention to is this box right here that says Scene Common Setup, and this box right here where it says Scene 1 Setup. All right, so in this area here, if you push the More button, it's going to take you to settings that have to do with your drum patterns triggering. All right, so just to run us through this just really quickly, if you want to be able to trigger it by pushing keys on the keyboard, this is telling you the bottom key that you would push. Actually, it's the second row here. The top row here, across here, is set to trigger your ARPs. So if you want to trigger your drums, it's right here. It's showing you your bottom key that would trigger the drums is C1. The top key is G9. Now remember, I showed you guys on the last video that if you hold the enter button and then press a key while something is selected, it will enter that key into the system. So right now I pushed F2 as the bottom key, and for the top key I'm going to enter C3. So now F2 to C3 are the keys that will trigger my drum track to play. But that is only if on this next section, if we have our drum trigger set to wait until keyboard trigger. So right here where it says drum trigger, it says start immediately or wait keyboard trigger. Wait keyboard trigger means it's going to wait for you to press a key that's within the range that you set in this section. If you have it on start immediately, then as soon as you push the drum button, it's going to start playing that drum track, okay? Now the exact same way that we set it up for a key range, you can set it for a velocity range anywhere from 1 to 27. This section here, this column, is for the ARPs, and this section here is for the drums. So if you want to have a little bit more control over when your drum tracks are entered in, like not entered in, but when they're initiated based on your key presses, you can change the velocity here. So if you want to be able to have to press the keys really hard, then you would raise this velocity up to max or anywhere up in the higher ranges. If you want to just be able to barely touch it and it trigger the drum tracks, then you press it low. 1 is the bottom velocity, 127 is the top velocity. Okay? This scene cue mode is by measure or immediately. What that's going to have to deal with is when you change, we're going to show you how to change scenes within your drum tracks. And if you want those changes to happen, like between sections of the song, if you want it to happen instantaneously, as soon as you push the button to change the scene, you will put this on immediately. If you want it to be based on the measure where it will finish out a measure, then you'll push the measure button. Okay, so let's get back out of this. We're going to change our key ranges back to, we're going to open up the entire keyboard for that again. And all right, so we have it from A0 up to C8. Okay, so we're going to go out of here. We were right here at this scene common setup, and we pushed the more button in order to go into the settings. Right here is where you would set the kit that you want to play when you trigger your drum sounds. So all of those kits that we looked at in our previous videos, they're accessible here. Okay, so right here in this section, if you press this button, you're able to go in and choose which drum kits you would like to trigger when your drum tracks start playing. So what you'll do is you press this button, and you can either choose by banks, depending on where you keep your drums, your drum sounds, your drum kits. You can choose by bank, list, or bank 10 key, or category. Category is the easiest thing, I believe, to go through as far as how to pick which drum kit you want to use. So once you get to category, I think it's really interesting, and I'm not sure why they do this, but I'm sure it's really interesting how they allow all of the other category of sounds to come up during this section. But we're going to look for the drum category. We're going to push drums, and then we're going to start to scroll through and look for whatever drum sound it is that you would like to be able to play. Let's just go to Studio Standard Kit. Okay? And then again, the scene cue mode is on measure because we want our drum tracks to stay locked in on the measure. We don't want to have to depend on us hitting the button at the exact right time to keep everything in sync and locked together. So then we have selected the Studio Standard Kit for the type of kit that's playing. And then if you go down here to the bottom, this is where you select the pattern. And there are tons of patterns to choose from. So let's look at this. See, all of these categories: pop, ballad, rock, funk, R&B, jazz, hip-hop, R&B, drum and bass, house, techno, trance, electronica, dance, reggae, world, traditional, and then they have user slots for you to be able to put your own custom drum kits and save them to user slots. They also have them subcategories. So pop, you have the 8-beat, 16-beat, and shuffle. Let's go to hip-hop, R&B, and look. We have hip-hop, R&B, and trap. Those are beats that are already programmed into the keyboard for you to use. So we're going to go to hip-hop, stay on hip-hop and R&B. And we're going to select hip-hop, and we're going to go to breaking. All right, so one thing that I want you to pay attention to is beside each one of these kits, there is a name that is in parentheses. Right here on the beat that I picked, it says all. But if you look right here, it says dance. What that means is that is the drum kit that they believe would work the best with this kit, with this loop. That doesn't mean you have to use this kit or to go with that loop, but that's gonna be the kit that's going to make the most sense with the way the loop plays, as far as the keys that were pressed or triggered during the loop, as far as where the kick might be, or where the snare may be, or the snaps, or the claps, or the toms. That kit is going to be the kit that's going to make the most sense with this loop. So if it says all, that means you can probably pick any kit and it's going to make sense. But some of them are more specific as to which kit they think you should select. Up here at the very top, you see it says beatbox, and then these four below it say dance. So I'm going to go to one that says all, just for the sake of the example. We're going to push OK. And so now, because of that, when I push a key with the drum track on, it starts playing the drum beat. Now you saw that it started playing as soon as I pushed the drum key button. Now that is because in this setting, we set our drum trigger to start immediately. So if we change that to wait to keyboard trigger, when we press the drum button, now nothing happens, but as soon as I press a key, alright, now the reason why that loop stops playing as soon as I let up off the key is because we have latch set to off. So we want to put our latch on, or we want to have it on use latch button. I would think for drums, it makes more sense to have it on all the time, because once you start that kit, you don't want it to just turn off on its own. But you could put use latch button. If you put use latch button, then there's a latch button on your keyboard panel that if you have it on, now when I push this drum track, it's going to continue playing. As soon as we push the latch, it turns off. Now that latch button is connected to your ARP and your drum kits at the same time, your drum patterns at the same time. So be careful with how you choose that setting and how you have it set. So we're going to put our latch on because we want, when I push this button, I want my drums to stay on. Alright, and then to turn it off, we just press the drum key. So we're going to go back out here. And so what we just did, it's really dope. So now you got all of these drum kits that we've talked about and all the ones that are loaded, and you've got like literally hundreds, if not, close to 1,000. Oh my gosh, there's a ridiculous amount of patterns that you can choose from. So there's all kind of different combinations you can come up with as far as the pattern as it relates to a kit. Different patterns, different kits are going to sound different with the patterns because there's different sounds. So there's all kind of combinations you can make and come up with something really cool that's specifically tailored to what you want and how you want your drum kits and your performance to sound. Okay, so what's really cool though is that now we have 4 different scenes that we can set at any given moment. And you can use all those scenes for your drum track, or you can do a combination between the drum track and the arpeggio. So if you have so this is on scene 1. So if I want to go to scene 2, now you see I can select another kit. I can even possibly, let's see if I can select another kit. Yep, so the kit remains across the board. Okay, the kit that you select remains across the board, but the pattern can be changed. So you can't have 3 or 4 different kits selected across your drum track, but you can have up to 4 different patterns. So we have this pattern set right now for scene 1. Okay, now for pattern 2, we're going to go and we're going to pick something different. We're going to go to hip hop again. Gonna go to hip hop, and we're just gonna put let's go to breaking 4. I think the first one we did was breaking 2. So now we got breaking 4 there, and let's go ahead and add 1 to 3 and 4. Let's add something completely different. Let's go to reggae dub 02, and on 4 we're gonna go to techno trance hard dance 01. Okay, so now we got 4 different drum beats set up in here, and so when I push this drum button and trigger it, I'm going to be able to switch between all 4 of those drum tracks on the fly, and it's going to stay in sync. So let's watch how that happens. And if I want to change to a different scene, I just press the number 2 or 3 or 4. Let's do 3. And you see it stayed right in beat. See, that one changed when it changed because I was probably on beat 4 when I pushed the button. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, boom. You see that? It got to beat 4 and then it changed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. See? And it's seamless. And all you got to do once you get this set is if you want to save it, you just save it just like you would with any other program change. You're going to push this top button at the top right corner. You're going to go to write program, and you're going to write your sound just like you would have if you made any other type of edits to the sound. And your drum tracks are going to come right back up ready to go next time you turn your keyboard on. So just that quick and just that easy, you guys now have the ability and the power to go into all of those M1 sounds that Korg gave us, and you can put your own drum kits and your own drum patterns and your own loops right there in the program or the combi. Hope you guys enjoyed this. There's more on the way. This is drums. This is Nautilus Drums 102. So we've done 101 and now this is 102. We got a couple of more coming. I hope you guys are learning something. If you are, please share this video, like this video, send me a comment and let me know what you liked about it, or if there's something that you didn't understand or something that you'd like to be able to see if the Nautilus is capable of doing. I'd be happy to figure it out and get a video up for you guys. Look out for 103. It's coming possibly this week. Hope you guys are getting something from this. Take care. See you next video. We out.